Welcome. Welcome to another short reading from Divorced Dad's Rules for Raising Relatively Stable Kids, a book on parenting by Patrick Talley. We're going to start off today with rule number 28. Teach them to follow their passion. Every once in a while, I've reminded my kiddos that I didn't grow up as a little boy in Southeast Houston dreaming of being a technology salesman. I had other dreams. I had dreams of being a national park ranger, spending my days and nights outside, taking in some of nature's greatest displays. Hell, at one point I had dreams of being a professional football player. My path since, just after college anyway, was to go the corporate route. And I'm okay with the choices I've made. I put the word choices in quotes because at the time it wasn't such a conscious choice. Hey, I'm good at what I do, and it's afforded me a comfortable lifestyle and great travel opportunities. It's afforded me free time and countless trips to those great national parks to enjoy nature's grandeur. It hasn't, however, been a career choice that has had me living my passion. I have, over time, moved more and more of my energy into my passions, the outdoors, photography, and perhaps even this little book. But on a day in and day out basis, I've not, I've not been sitting in air-conditioned, formica-tabled, neon-lit rooms and thought, wow, this is it. Never mind my aversion to dark socks, huh? I've told my children time and again that if old dad hasn't given up the dark socks and shine shoes by the time they're done with college, then don't believe a word he's ever said. I've told them that if I'm not out following my passion after I've satisfied my obligations to them, then I'm indeed a fraud. Actually, this is my sneaky way of putting a gun to my own head and saying nobody move or the sheriff gets it. Forcing my hand, so to speak. Following their passion and staying true to themselves are great directions to offer your offspring. That's a gift you can give your kids, and it's a gift that you can give to the planet. One night at the dinner table, my daughter spoke out of frustration. She was around, I don't know, 6th, 7th grade, something like that. And she was in the gifted and talented program at school, and she was frustrated over trying to keep up with the brainiacs, huh? Never mind that the gifted and talented tag always drove me crazy. I mean, what the hell? Which child, which human is not gifted and talented in some way? But tags are tags, aren't they? She said, Daddy, I'm tired of the smarties in my class making fun of my questions. I mean, I can change who I am so they think I'm smarter, or I can be more popular and all, but I hate it when they make fun of me for not being as smart as they are. Don't ever change who you are for someone else, I told her. Knowing at this moment we had a great parenting opportunity. Sometimes you recognize them in the moment, sometimes you recognize them after they've gone. Every time you change who you really are for someone else, you're letting go of a piece of you. And that you, that whole you, is the greatest gift you can give to the world and you can give back to yourself. Don't ever put yourself in a place where you're giving less than your entire self to this world. I looked at my son and my daughter and I said, guys, that's a gift that you give in return for the great gifts life has given you. Going on even further, because I am want to go on even further at every opportunity, my kids will assure you. Going on even further, I said, give up you, even a little bit of you, puts you on a path to give up a little more the next time and the next time. And we call that compromise. And while compromise in some cases is okay, it's never okay when you're compromising on that which is most important to you. You see, baby, that changing who you really are for others kind of deal, it kind of puts you on, or it's kind of like putting on a mask, It's kind of like putting on a mask and wearing that mask for other people. The problem is that while you're wearing that mask, you're not wearing your true shoes. You're not being your true self. And I can tell you that this world is full of people who are walking around in shoes other than the ones which are truly theirs. They are wearing somebody else's shoes. They are wearing shoes somebody else has put on them. They are wearing shoes they have allowed someone else to put on them. They're not living a life of integrity. It's as if they have allowed other people to put different shoes on them, their parents, their teachers, their friends, their grandparents, the brainiacs at school, or other people. The biggest problem with this is that eventually you begin to realize you are walking around, or maybe even stumbling around, probably even stumbling around in somebody else's shoes. You realize you're not happy, and you realize you're not happy in these shoes because they don't really fit. Then you realize that for you to be truly happy in life, you have to change shoes. And you have to change shoes now. And you have to put on your true shoes. The real problem here is that you've been walking around in those other shoes for so long that you've forgotten what your true shoes feel like. It will take a long time because of your fear, and your fear of changing, and your fear that people won't like who you really are. Because again, you've compromised that for so long. People don't know who you really are. You may not even know who you really are. And because everyone else wants you to stay in the shoes they put upon you. But you know you will only be truly happy when you start walking around and dancing in your true shoes. This is a huge problem for many adults, I told my kids. After all, how else do you describe a midlife crisis to little kids? I went on to talk at the dinner table about midlife crisis and how to change that from a crisis to a passage and an opportunity for a passage. And hopefully that they can move that up in the batting order of their life so they don't have to wait to midlife to wear the right shoes. Perhaps they can even be strong enough to always wear the right shoes. I told them the most optimal manner of living life is to always stay in your true shoes and to live your life for yourself. To recognize and chase your own passions, not those that someone else has pushed upon you. I went on to explain that my life choices were okay for me and that I had found myself immersed in obligations, a house, cars, kids, wife, etc. I couldn't find a way out of that corporate life, if you will, without walking away from those obligations. I went on that a more optimal choice might be to follow your passion before you encumber yourself with financial and other obligations. I explained that it may be far easier to move to the corporate world later in life, if you chose, than to walk away once you've begun and obligated yourself. So far, so good. Neither of my kiddos have designs on being in the corporate world. Very possibly, very probably, they may struggle financially at the onset of their adult life. They may struggle as they chase their respective passions. What the hell? Most of us struggle a bit financially in the beginning anyway, sometimes at the middle and sometimes at the end. I hope they continue to pursue their passions. Dramatic arts for my daughter and music for my son. But I can also let go of their choices. If they choose to do the dark socks and dry clean clothes route of the corporate world, then that's their challenge. And it's their challenge with which to deal. Responsibility for their actions is part of their wearing their authentic true shoes. Hey, thanks for listening. Appreciate it.